Have a Bible time, and today's topic is together is better, and we're going to continue on the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 4, verses 9 through 12 today. Today, I get many feedback about the sermons, and some people say, "Oh, you use too many words." So today, I'm going to try not to use too many words, but rather I'm going to show you guys a video clip, and also I'm going to do an illustration to make sense. But for everything to kind of make sense to you guys, I want to make sure that we really read these verses carefully together and try to remember the message of these verses. And when I do the illustrations, it's all going to come together and make sense. So we're going to read 4 verses together. 다 같이 함께 읽어볼게요. Two people are better than one, for they can help each other succeed. If one person fails, the other person can reach out and help. But someone who falls alone is in real trouble. Likewise, two people living close together can keep each other warm. But how can one be warm alone? A person standing alone can be attacked and defeated, but two can stand back to back and conquer. 3 are even better, for a triple braided cord is not easily broken. These verses are telling us that 2 is better than 1 in many cases, right? For example, if one person is in trouble, the other person can help that person to get out of the trouble. If one person falls, then what can the other person do? They can raise that person up, right? And verse 11 says, if when you are trying to keep warm in a cold environment, it's hard for you to keep warm by yourself. So when you have another body, another person giving out their body heat next to you, it's much more easier to keep warm. And then in verse 12, it kind of talks about when a person is attacked, you can only protect, what is in front of you, right? You cannot really protect what is in the back of you. So what if 2 people stand back to back and they can protect each other? And then he kind of talks about the 3 braided cords. And when I read this verse, I thought of this one scene in NBA basketball. And I'm going to play that video clip for you guys. And I want you guys to try to make sense of what that player is saying and try to make the connection to the verses that we just read today.
On the play. Right here. KCP. Trailer. Let's go. Come on. We got you. Anytime you fall, anytime y'all fall, stay down. Your brother come pick you up.
All right. Did you guys hear the last part? Anytime y'all fall, stay down. Your brother is going to come and pick you up. And when I heard that, I was like, oh, that's such a biblical message, right? When a person has fallen, what do? You go and pick them up. That's what teammates do in basketball, right? When you're playing basketball or any team sport, knowing that somebody is on your side, and when you fall, when you get in trouble, knowing that somebody can help pick you up, that's a great feeling. And I feel like in our journey of faith, in our walk of faith, I always feel like this is my one-on-one relationship with God, right? Yes, that is true, but at the same time, I feel like our faith is a team sport. It's not an individual sport because it's a long race, right? We're not running a 100-meter dash. It's not a sprint, but it's like a marathon. I know that some people in our congregation have ran an entire marathon. I'm not even going to try because I know I can't, right? But when you run a marathon, you sort of go through different phases, right? At first, you feel like, I got this. I can run the whole thing. And, after like a mile or two, your energy just kind of drops. And you feel like, oh, why am I running this? And like, why am I doing it? Why am I like intentionally like trying to bring pain to myself? And I heard, I haven't, run that much, but I heard that after like 15 miles or so, it comes this phase where like you feel like your body just can't handle it anymore. You're in so much pain and, it's so hard, but you overcome that and you can finish the race, right? How long does it take to run a marathon? For professionals, something like 2 hours or like 2 hours, between 2 hours and 2 hours and 30 minutes. For people like me, it's going to take me several days. But I heard that if a normal person just kind of trains a little bit, I heard that they can, finish it within maybe like 5 hours if they train a little bit, right? But how long is our journey of faith? lasts a lifetime. That's why our journey of faith is not an individual sport, it's a team sport. And in verse 12, I was reading this verse. Can we show verse 12? It says, at the very last part, it says, 3 are even better, for a triple braided cord is not easily broken. I read the verse when I was preparing for my sermon, and I looked around, and I found these napkins, right? So I actually read the word, and I decided to try it upon, myself. Whenever you read the Bible, I think you should actually give it a try. So I am gonna do an illustration, right? Pretend this napkin is like a cord, okay? So I'm gonna sort of make it sort of like a cord, right? Do you think I can break this? Yeah? It's actually not that easy. But, I hope I can, right? Right, I can break this, right? Now, if I put 2 cords together, do you think I can break it? Oh, you people of little faith. All right, I'm going to try to put 2 together, and I'm going to intertwine it, right? Just like the verse is telling us. So it's sort of like, looks like a double braided cord, right? Do you think I can break this? Oh, right? What if I put 3 together? Can we show the next slide? That's what a triple braided cord looks like. So I got one here, and I got another one here. And I got another one here, right? I got 3 cords. And I'm going to try to intertwine these. I did some practice. So I think this looks pretty okay, right? So this is like a triple braided cord, right? Do you think I can break it? No? No believers? All right, let me try to break this. I could not break it. And I thought, I haven't done it, but I'm going to call out somebody who's stronger than me. 동수 선생님, can you come up? Can you try to break it? I don't know, maybe you can break it. Can you look at the camera and just try to pull it and break it? Oh. 원래 이러면 안 되는데 저는 이거 못했거든요. 네, 동수 선생님이 착한데 눈치가 조금 없어요. Anyways, I couldn't break it, right? A triple braided cord, I'm sure, if you put enough force, you can break anything, but a triple braided cord is much more difficult to break, right? That's the whole point. As we, walk our journey of faith, sometimes, I feel like, people fall and people falter and they don't have the energy to get back up. And I feel like what needs to sustain us is this 3 strong triple braided cord, and if that can sustain your faith, it's not going to easily break. So I think, I'm going to just quickly give you guys the 3 triple braided cord that I think needs to sustain your faith, and we'll finish. The first one I thought is, if you click next, is worship. For any believer's faith, in terms of doing faith together, when we worship with other people, it's like one cord. It's gonna, it's gonna hold you. But if you try to break it, it can be broken. And worship, I feel like, is maybe perhaps not enough to sustain your faith for the rest of your life. Another cord is fellowship. When you love one another, and when you exchange love, care, and prayer with other believers, our friends in faith, that's like a double braided cord. And you add to that a sense of mission. The reason why God has called us and the reason why God has called us together. So when like-minded Christ followers put their hands together and put their energies together, and when they work for the causes of God, that's another cord that can sustain our faith. So when you put those 3 things together and make a strong cord in our church, that's not going to easily break. So I want you guys to remember, If your faith is made of just one chord, probably not enough. 2 chords, sometimes it's not going to be enough. Let's make it strong with 3 braided chords. I'm going to help you guys remember it, okay? So repeat after me. Next slide, please. Together is better. All right, next slide, please. Triple braided chord. And next slide. Worship, fellowship, and mission. All right, I hope you guys remember that. 오늘은